You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a weird movies podcast, joined today, as I occasionally am, by the preposterous Penguin Pete Turbovich.
Amen.
And my frequent co-host, Giles Edwards, of course, is away at Fantasia, and although he probably could have come on this show, I think he's probably settling in. He will be on next week. We will try to drop in on him remotely in Montreal so he can report on all the fun stuff he's seen at Fantasia and hopefully bring along a guest for us to chat with. No names, but we'll see who he can get. Okay, but...
All right. He can always surprise us, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to surprise us. It could be the same people we had last week who were both a lot of fun guests.
Ah.
But for now, let's go over what's up this week in new release movies. Can you see the spread before you there,
Yep.
Pete? Okay. By the way, Pete, is anything going on with you preliminary that we should mention, or?
Yeah, the usual.
Okay.
I have been putting out 10 Weird Moments videos.
You have been putting out
Yeah.
them frequently, and we have at least two more
At least two more, and probably more to come. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing that one, though, because I'm sticking to movies on the list. And, there's not all of them really lend themselves to that kind of format that I've been doing.
Exactly.
And plus I have to restrict, like, I can't show nudity, so like I'd love to do El Topo, a 10 Weird Moments video on El Topo. Unfortunately, it has that naked little boy running through it for like 1/3 of the movie. So
Yeah.
was it Alejandro Jodorowsky's son that did that in El Topo? That was his own son?
Yes,
You don't know. Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, it was his son.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we're doing this week.
Hard to get someone else's son talk someone else's son. Okay. Yes, back to what we're doing this week. We have a news item to start off with, a preview of a movie not yet made. Would you like to describe this very simple graphic there, Pete?
Well, it's a split 2-frame shot collage between a young lady in a plain room in a plain shirt, and a young man in a denim jacket in a rustic wood background, I guess. Possibly a suggestion that they might be boyfriend girlfriend, and I don't recognize this from any of the trailers I've seen.
Oh, okay. Well, this is it's not a trailer. There is no trailer for this yet. We're looking at two, sort of Hollywood attractive young people in their late 20s, early 30s, right? One on the left is the actress Maya Hawke, who is, I believe, Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Oh.
And is probably known to people, although not me, because I've never seen the show, from Stranger Things.
Oh, I'm familiar with that one, yes.
Okay. You recognize her? No?
No, I don't, because I haven't watched that much Stranger Things, but I've actually been compelled to write 2 articles about it so far.
Okay, and the other one is a gentleman named Louis Pullman, who you might have seen around in a lot of different things. He's very familiar to me. I recently saw him in Thunderbolts, and I was like, where's that guy from? I know I've seen him before. He's sort of a rising star, I guess. So these are the two young people in this upcoming rom-com. But it's not just any rom-com, it's a surrealist rom-com, or at least so they want us to think. Did you read this article, Pete? Or did you?
No, I did see that. I did see that. Eric Pullman, is he related to Bill Pullman, of course?
No idea. Louis
No
Pullman.
idea?
No
Because
idea.
he kind of looks like he has that Pullman jaw.
He has the Pullman jaw. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be. Um, at any rate, I decided to cover this or mention it specifically because they used the phrase surrealist rom-com. And later in the article, they used the term surrealist relationship comedy.
Hmm.
The description, the plot description provided to Variety says a volatile couple discovers their emotional state has supernatural consequences on the world around them. The pair must decide whether to fight for their relationship or accept that their powerful connection might be doing more harm than good. The other sort of kind of interesting thing about this is it's the feature film for the writer director named Graham Parks, who has done some shorts, but kind of more interestingly, he's done video games that are he's directed. I don't know what directing a video game is. Maybe it means directing the voice actors. Maybe it means more than that. I don't know.
Or
But
just the
direct,
creative director, I guess, that
yeah,
rolls in the backstory and calls the shots on the game story, I guess.
I don't know. But he is listed as the director of this video game, and the game is sort of an interesting one. Uh, Gosh, I forgot the name. Let me look it up real quick. It's called, I believe it's called Before Your Eyes. It is a film where or a game where you play a dead person who is ferried to the afterlife by Sharon, and you have to justify your life and why you should get to heaven. And the gimmick, I guess, to it is you control your player's movements with your eye blinks. So he at least has an offbeat approach. So maybe this will be good. But I was thinking, I cannot think of any surrealist rom-coms. I do not think that genre actually
Hmm.
exists at this point.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
closest thing I can think of, a little bit of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but it's really not that much a comedy and it's not that much a surrealist film. So, and then, do you consider that obscure object of desire to be a surrealist rom-com, which maybe hits closer to the mark, but I somehow doubt this is going to be like a Louis Buñuel film. So,
Hmm.
any ideas on a surrealist rom-com? Maybe Visitor Q? I'm joking, of course.
Arizona Dream, perhaps?
Arizona Dream. Now, yeah, there you go. Actually, that's had its surreal elements and is indeed a weird movie. So, and
One
is
of
a
my top
romantic
10
comedy.
favorites out of the entire list.
Yeah, that one might work. Yeah. Okay.
How about Wilder Napalm?
I haven't seen that in so long. I don't remember the romantic.
Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't seen it myself, but yeah, it does kind of count. All right. Well, anyway,
Anyway,
surrealist rom-coms. So
we'll
they'll hold
we'll
the day.
see. We'll see if it really is a surrealist rom-com. Uh, Hoping that that's true, but maybe it'll at least be odd, given the video game director's previous takes. So look for that coming sometime. Who knows? 2020, whatever. But moving on to things that really are already finished and in theaters. Can you see this next still there?
Yeah,
Can you
whatever it's
make,
showing.
can you make anything out of it?
It looks like a person with cloth mask, with eye holes cut out. Very, very much a the town that dreaded sundown type of mask. And he's being shown on the other side of some bubble glass, which further obscures their appearance.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
And I believe we're looking at it wasn't was it was it Crumb Catcher? No,
No.
it's not. No, no, no. It's something I recognize though.
It's called Cloud.
Oh yes, Cloud. Okay.
Cloud from Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who was the guy who did a couple of films you may have seen. Cure and Pulse. I don't know. Did you see those?
Nope, no. Um,
Japanese J horror sort of, but more art housey than you would think usual J horror.
hmm.
Um, Cure has this, mysterious protagonist who's like a character from Teorema or something who has just um, a cipher quality about him, and it's all centered around this gentleman who's a killer. But this one, let me read the ad copy or the copy supplied by the distributor. Janice describes it as about Yoshi, an ambitious yet directionless young factory worker from Tokyo who side hustles in the murky realm of black market reselling, cheating buyers and sellers alike. After swindling his way into loads of cash, he becomes slowly disconnected from humanity, moving out of the city, shunning his girlfriend, and hiring a devoted assistant. But after a series of mysterious, sinister incidents occur, he begins to suspect his former victims could be plotting the ultimate revenge. A master of carefully simmering tension to a bloody crescendo, Kurosawa delivers a searing portrait of digital greed and vengeance.
Ah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
I was
one,
seeing a trailer and it was, by the way, it probably bears mentioning the black market merchandise from the trailer as I can see. It tends to be little Japanese figures of a Japanese anime girl or an idol singer or something like that. So he's in the figurines market. And it's also shown, the trailer bills it in one phrase as a social capitalist satire or something like that.
mm,
Social marketing satire, perhaps. So it's interesting. It does look like it goes in a unique place, and it also is satirizing some of the weeaboo culture
mm.
of people who will never be able to get over their crushes on fictitious anime girls, basically.
Maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thriller, I think, makes it look, or the trailer makes it look like a thriller, is what I was going to say, which I think is how they're trying to market it. Um, Not sure. The reviews very positive overall, 91% positive on Rotten Tomatoes, and we have some quotes like genre bending, some very lightly weird quotes, weird, inspiring quotes that lead us to think perhaps this is good. One reviewer from something, Elisa Sue from something called Movie Pudding, calls it unflaggingly weird, but the rest of them rarely break out the W word. One says downright eerie, experimental, that kind of thing. Presents itself as a traditional psychological thriller, but quickly surprises with unusual choices, that kind of thing. So, not overwhelmingly weird, but it seems like it might have some promise, and it is probably a very good movie. Kurosawa, that's Kiyoshi Kurosawa, no relation, I think, to Akira, is someone a lot of our audience is familiar with. Several of his films were recommended, and they're pretty good. So I would say that's definitely something people will be interested in checking out. It is distributed by Janus, which means odds are it's going to get a Criterion Collection release after it's done with its theatrical run. Any further thoughts, Pete?
Nope, nope, nope. We chewed that one up pretty good.
Okay. Next one, we have a movie poster. Would you like to go for describing that one?
Sure. It has a original looking font spelling out the title Saint Clare. It is a close up of a woman's face with red lighting and a starry twinkle in one eye. She has a very serious, very committed expression, as if she was almost fanatically driven.
Hmm. Yeah, the star in her eye might be a cross.
Oh, that could be one, yes. The trailer, anyway, makes this sound like it's somebody who's on a serious
Mhm.
mission, which could have violent actions involved. But I'm guessing like the trailer kind of comes off like this is a serial killer with a religious complex, perhaps, or whatever she's doing. She keeps repeating that she's justified by God, blah blah. So,
Yep, that's exactly what I got from it. It is starring Bella Thorne, who's the very attractive woman there on the poster, and directed by Mitzi Peirone is how I'm going to pronounce her name, but it's probably the wrong pronunciation. It's Peirone. I'm calling her Perone. My apologies to Mitzi if I've mispronounced that, which I again probably have. Um, Very going to be very experimental. I've seen one of Mitzi's Barone's movies before, and it was definitely weird. It was called Braid. Did not great, but definitely weird, at least. This one only gets 40% positive on Rotten Tomatoes, which is unfortunate. Everybody does seem to praise Bella Thorne's performance. We get comments like it's a real genre mix up with a retro indie vibe, which is appealing to people. Um, let's see. Absurd yet empowering premise, jumbled cocktail of aesthetics and ambition, prizing style over substance. That's all positive, although he gave it a negative review after all that positive press he gave it. Stuff like that. Um, One says, this is kind of promising, although they gave it a negative review again. Can't decide if it's a cheesy teen horror movie or a B movie throwback. That sounds like, praise to me, but okay.
we have a different we have different values that we go by when we judge movies here.
Yes, very experimental. You can tell from the trailer it's going to have a lot of experimental techniques and a
That's
lot.
where the real weird movies live, is the ones that lose like half the reviews are like, I have no idea what's going on, and the other half of the reviews are like, oh, this is great stuff. So that's where the weird movies tend to hit sometimes, I notice.
Yep. So that one is also in theaters, probably not anywhere near you. I would expect it to be on VOD, however, very shortly. Um, the next one we were going to talk to, I did not download a still, it looks like, for,
Oh,
um, which was unfortunate because that would have made it easier to discuss it. Let me just talk about it, though. It's called, there we go. Okay, it's called Finally Dawn.
oh yes.
Premise is, or the log line at least is, a young Roman woman during the 1950s is on the verge of becoming engaged. She goes to Cinecitta to do an audition as an extra and is thrust into an almost infinite night during which she discovers herself. So I'm not telling you really a lot there. Pete, did you see the trailer and have any?
Yes, I did. And I even check out the comments on YouTube to see how it's hitting people.
Mhm.
And one person said that they had kind of a Hollywood Babylon vibe off of this one. It's one of those films where a girl really wants to be an actress, and then she gets into the movies, and then something horrible and god awful is happening, and we're not quite sure what. But this could be one of your Hollywood Babylons. Path to fame leads to ruin kind of stories. So
Hmm. I think so. It's intended to it's set in, so it's probably intended to evoke like the feeling of a Fellini in that period, although it's in
Hmm.
color rather than black and white. It's set in Cinecittà. It's actually, the movie appears to be like a American gladiatorial epic. So it's
Hmm.
a costume movie with like a Roman epic or something, and she's cast as an extra. And it is apparently somewhat loosely inspired by a real story about a extra of the period in Italy who turned up mysteriously dead, and I guess the mystery was never solved, but it was a real life incident. So maybe I'm spoiling that. It's got some, although the main actors are probably going to be Italians we haven't heard of, it does have Lily James as an American actress, a famous American actress, probably an Elizabeth Taylor type maybe. Willem Dafoe, speaking Italian, as I don't know what he might play, but it's Willem Dafoe, so that's interesting. And Rachel Sennott is in there as well. Or is it Sennott? Sennott, not sure. But you might know her. Another one that's getting 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. This one's much more of a drama. And several reviewers describe it as surreal, but without going into detail as to what they mean by that. Or so I'm thinking it's just there. It's one of those very loose usages of the term that people like to do. That's not what we would necessarily call surreal, but somebody called it dreamlike. We should end up checking it out and see for ourselves. I've got my doubts about this one, though, in terms of weirdness. Any other thoughts there, Pete?
Meh.
Eh.
It could tread familiar ground. We're certainly we've seen the female starlet leading to ruin from her career already with last year's was it last year anyway? The Substance, was it?
Yeah, that was last year, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't she? She wanted to be an actor and she wants to stay young forever, blah blah.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
maybe.
So it's kind of like that. So this might be that, but it could go off in different directions too. Inland Empire is also about an actress after all. Look how that turned out.
That's true. I doubt this would be like Inland Empire. We would have heard much
Oh
more.
no.
Okay, well, here's another one. Can you see? Have I reshared the screen?
Oh yes, you have.
Okay.
Yes.
All
And
right, you.
this is a poster showing a young, I guess, couple or young adult couple. The guy is in a plaid checkered Midwest uniform shirt and I guess a cabbie hat. And the gal has a very roughly green dress on and a hair in a bun, and they're embracing each other and sharing a gaze. And this is a poster for The Actor.
It is.
And I saw the trailer on this. Do I remember correctly? Charlie Kaufman is involved in this?
Charlie Kaufman is, I think, executive producer, and it was directed by Duke Johnson, who is the guy Charlie Kaufman co-directed Anomalisa with. So yes, Charlie Kaufman is involved.
And it's apparently about a guy with amnesia, as they keep beating it in, and everybody around him acting very strange about it. So I saw the trailer and I liked it. I'm actually looking forward to this. Of course, Charlie Kaufman, pretty much 50%, 50% of anything he touches turns out kind of bizarre, right?
I'd say a higher percentage than that.
Yeah, okay.
um, I'd say everything I've seen from Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah, it's different.
The product description goes, in this existential romance, New York actor Paul Cole finds himself stranded in a mysterious small town with no memory of who he is or how he got here. With no sense of identity or purpose, he starts from scratch and begins courting a local costume designer. As bits and pieces of his past slowly emerge, he attempts to find his way home. So, existential mystery. And if you wanted to watch it, you're in luck because it's now on Blu-ray and on Prime Video and other video outlets. Don't know much about this. We had discussed it before. It dropped into theaters and dropped out very quickly. But that could be just because it's too weird. It'll find its home on VOD. The stars are Andre Holland and Gemma Chan. Okay, anything further on that one?
Well, nope.
Okay.
You know, if it doesn't do well in theaters, we're just the kind of site that gives these kind of movies a home.
Yes, we're the second hope for them. You know, people like to get their movie out into theaters, even if they don't think that's, going to be where it ends up. This didn't, with the budget, it didn't have the look of a hit to it, so it's going to get a limited release. I'm sure the home video market is where more people are going to see a movie like this, and that's just fine. But let's move on to another movie that is out on home video with a somewhat bigger budget and even more noticeable star. Would you like to describe this one, Pete?
Well, here we go again. It's Nicolas Cage. There, we're done. Okay. It's Nicolas Cage on a beach, toting a surfboard with a couple of other guys around him, also apparently beach bums. But one gentleman is wearing a Santa Claus cap, completely out of tune with the beachy, summery location.
Or is it?
Of course, huh?
I said, or is it?
Or is it really? So it might be done at Christmas time.
It might be done at Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
It might be the reason that they're able to go surfing at Christmas might be because it's set in Australia. And
it's set in Australia. Okay. Oh, that's right. They have Christmas in the summer in Australia. Well, now I know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
That hat looks like it would be really uncomfortable to wear in a sweltering summer. Yes, he wears a Santa hat. And it is The Surfer, a movie I reviewed quite positively for the site. It's by a guy, the director's name, I'm almost certain to mangle. He's got an Irish name. It's Lorcan Finnegan. I guess I'm not going to mangle it. Lorcan Finnegan. Yes, Lorcan Finnegan. It is about a divorced father who plans to buy the Australian beachside house where he grew up and teach his son to surf the waves just like he did as a lad. But he's tormented by local surf gangsters who won't allow him to surf on the beach, insisting it's for locals only. And he slowly gets his surfboard stolen, and then his car breaks down, and he is basically stuck at this rest area in Australia. His phone dies, and he is increasingly bullied by this gang until things turn in ways that I won't spoil, I guess. It reminded me a lot of another movie that had an S, started with an S and ends with an ER, The Swimmer, which was another movie with a similar
That's really old.
Yeah, a similar theme of a middle-aged man trying to assert his masculinity, who everything might not be quite as it seems with him. He may not be the great successful guy who he portrays himself as. And that's as far as I'll go towards spoiling that one. Um, very nice cinematography on this, and I especially love the soundtrack to this one by a French gentleman whose name I don't know. But it's not like surf rock; it's more exotica sounding music with lots of harp arpeggios and wordless vocals, and just very cool and dreamy music. That
Wow. You know Exotica.
I know exotica really well.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe we'll launch an Exotica podcast next.
Oh, okay, sometime. Anyway, you couldn't ask for a plot more tailor-made for Nicolas Cage. I haven't seen this one yet, but I do, and it'll be on my to watch, perhaps. I don't know.
Well,
Nicolas Cage, I'm almost you kind of have to control how many Nicolas Cage movies you see at one time because they tend to have a cumulative effect, I guess. But
I'd
as long as
say
he's not Wicker Manning it, it should be great.
he's relatively restrained in this one. He has one moment when he goes, Cage wild. You have to give him that one moment, but he's really
Yeah.
pretty restrained in this one. So I don't think you'll have any Cage overload on this. But I do recommend the film. As a matter of fact, of all the films here today, that's the one I probably have recommend the most. Cloud, I might have some hope for. But we do have one more to discuss before we head out. So why don't we just describe this one?
Well, this is a returning favorite because I remember we discussed this on a podcast right around this time last year. And it is Crumb Catcher. I'm looking at, I guess, the DVD box with the cover showing, I guess, a wedding cake with several plastic characters posed on it in various positions, and it has and it's also showing the DVD itself, and I guess a booklet that comes with it or something. But it has a very 1950s aesthetic to it between the red and chrome motif, I guess, and the font looks very 50s diner style. So, but yes, we've seen this. I believe Giles saw this movie last year at Fantasia, didn't he?
Giles saw this movie last year. I don't think it was at Fantasia, but he did see it around that time. Maybe right before he went. Let's see. He reviewed it in August 28th, so that was after he was back from Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
And Giles described it as two newlyweds are tracked down by a gregarious waiter who has an unlikely business opportunity to pitch. And I will spoil it by saying that unlikely business opportunity is the Crumb Catcher. I believe Giles gave it a recommended, and he probably liked it more than I did. And Giles tends to like everything more than I do. Um, that's our dynamic, I guess. But it is, I don't know if I would go as high as recommending it to a general audience. First off, it is not really a weird movie. We've covered it, sort of weird adjacent, black comedy, odd performance by, very good performance, which is kind of the highlight of the film, is the performance by the star, John Spiridakos, who is very oily and insinuating and kind of awkward and just a guy you don't want to be caught in a conversation with, particularly not a pitch for a business opportunity that doesn't have any commercial ability at all. Let's see. This managed to get picked up and released by Arrow, which means that it's a really nice release with let's see, what do we got here? It's a Blu-ray. They didn't go 4K for it. I'm not sure if Arrow does 4Ks, but it's a Blu-ray. We got, let's see, commentary by the director, Chris Scotch-Doppel. Scotch-Dopole, I'm going to say, I don't know. A making of featurette. And we also have, interestingly, two short films by Chris Scotch-Podol. And that, again, that's not the correct pronunciation, I'm sure. But that's another 34 minutes of films that probably no one has seen before. So that's pretty exciting. A booklet by producer Larry Fessenden, who is a guy that we have interviewed before, and so on, reversible artwork. So actually a really nice release for this movie. Very nice of them to get that done from Arrow. And so that takes us through everything. Do you have anything that you want to say in the last few minutes there, Pete?
Nah. It's summer, man. We're just cruising through.
Well,
Mm.
as I said up top, next week we will try to check in with Giles, and hopefully he will have a guest for us to chat with. And I'm sure you'll be back, won't you, Pete?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Count on me any old time.
Yes, you're going to be co-hosting for a while, so
Okay.
probably through the rest of July, and maybe in the early August. All right, but that's it for today. So like, subscribe, buy your copy of the 366 Weird Movies Guide, Volume 1 and 2. Don't buy it if you're a contributor, because your copies will be coming to you as soon as I get them and repackage them and send them out to you. But everyone
May
else
I ask
buy
a question
copies.
about those?
Sure.
Yeah, why is volume one and volume two different covers?
Uh, because they're different books. They got different movies in them.
Okay.
I don't know. Didn't think, I actually never even considered making them the same cover. I guess I could have, though. Different colors, different covers. Um,
Sure.
and there we go. Okay.
Okay. All right, just checking.
Buy it at bearmanormedia.com, amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com, or rent it from a library in Chicago that has it, we know. Um, so
Radical.
that's that's that. See you next week. And always remember, boys and girls, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh boy.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.